Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Streets are closed after a crash blocks traffic at a busy intersection. The latest on the pileup that involved 7 cars. Rockford City Council looks to fill an empty seat, who the mayor has named as his pick for the job. And a celebration of spring and renewal at a local church. How the centuries-old Italian tradition made its way to Rockford. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. A 7-car pileup shuts down parts of a busy intersection. It happened at South Alpine and East State Streets in Rockford around 2 p.m. Parts of the road are still open, but traffic is blocked in 2 lanes. As you can see, 1 car is on its side. The crash blocks those traveling east on East State Street and those going north on South Alpine. There's no word on if there have been any injuries or on what caused the pileup. We'll have updates on air and on our website, mystateline.com. Crews are ready to start construction on the Perryville Road Bridge. This will close the stretch between Mill Road and Armour Drive starting on Monday. There are 2 alternative routes, first Harrison Avenue, Mulford Road and Linden Road, or Harrison and Mill Road. The whole project, which will expand the bridge and the portion of I-39 underneath, should end by December 1st. On Monday, the Rockford City Council will discuss filling its empty seat. Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara has named his choice. He selected Isidro Barrios as the interim 11th Ward alderman. Barrios has a background as a construction union laborer and foreman. He also worked as an instructor at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters. City Council will consider Barrios' appointment at Monday's meeting. Aldermen have 30 days to vote. Barrios would replace Tuffy Quinones. Quinones died last month after having a stroke. He served on the council since 2017. Also on Monday, local first responders face off in a friendly competition. Rockton and Roscoe's police and fire departments will take part in a Battle of the Badges blood drive. It all benefits the Rock River Valley Blood Center. The departments invite others in the community to come out and donate blood. You can go to the Harlem Roscoe Fire Station or to the Rockton Fire Station from noon to 6 to donate. The village or city that receives the most donations gets bragging rights, but everyone helps save lives. An ancient Sicilian tradition continues in Rockford. St. Anthony of Padula Catholic Church hosts its annual St. Joseph's Day altar. Many join the church for the feast of meatless pasta, since it takes place during Lent, omelets, vegetables, and Italian pastries. The tradition came to America through Italian immigration. Originally, the altars would be created in homes by families, but it became a community event as people adopted a more busy, modern lifestyle. Now churches carry on the tradition, placing breads, cakes, and cookies in symbolic shapes on the altar, which is then blessed by a priest. The altar symbolizes the beginning of spring and renewal.
It's very, very heartwarming because many of us grew up with this, and we just are so happy that people are still interested to come out. We haven't had it for 2 years because of COVID. We had a carry out only last year. So it's wonderful to get back to having a full-fledged altar.
Gullo adds that she's happy that members of younger generations came out, and that's important to teach them about this tradition so it doesn't become a lost event. The maker of a popular powdered infant formula is voluntarily recalling one of its products. Gerber announced the recall of some of its Good Start Soothie Pro formula because it may be contaminated with bacteria. The formula was made between January 2nd through the 18th and sold at stores across the country. The company says so far no products have shown any signs of bacterial contamination, but the products are being recalled out of an abundance of caution. There's also a recall of frozen organic strawberries and tropical blend fruit because of an outbreak of Hepatitis A. The products are sold under several brand names, including Simply Nature, Vital Choice, Kirkland Signature, and Trader Joe's. They were sold at Aldi, Costco, as well as Trader Joe's. The FDA says 5 people have become sick with confirmed or probable cases. 2 ended up in the hospital. International delegates have approved a new UN report on climate change. Countries quickly signed off on a summary of global warming research compiled since the 2015 Paris Climate Accord. But disagreements over the main text lasted hours. Emissions targets, financial aid, and how to define vulnerable developing countries were all points of debate. The U.S. took issue with the concept of historic responsibility for climate change. The UN is expected to publish the full report Monday afternoon. A third night of protesters clashing with police in Paris over President Emmanuel Macron's pension reform plan. Thousands of people have been taking part in the protests, angry the government is raising the pension age without a parliamentary vote. The plan raises the pension age from 62 to 64. Macron's government says it's needed to ensure the pension system does not go bust. France's main labor unions have said they'll continue to mobilize to stop the move. A day of nationwide industrial action is set for Thursday. A bill making its way through the legislature in Florida will ban discussion of menstrual cycles in elementary schools in the state. The bill would restrict public school instruction on human sexuality, STDs, and other related topics to grades 6 through 12. It would also allow parents to object to books and other materials their children are exposed to, and require schools to teach that a person's sexual identity is determined biologically at birth. The turmoil continues to unfold in the banking sector. The U.S. government took the rare step to rescue customers of failed Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Now UBS announcing the takeover of Credit Suisse to secure financial stability and protect the Swiss economy. Jacqueline Lee has the details.
2 weeks before Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, the largest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis, government filings show the bank's former CEO, Greg Becker, sold $3.6 million of the bank's stock back in February. Sources have confirmed to ABC News that the Justice Department and FBI are investigating the bank's collapse and possible insider trading. Becker's attorney telling ABC News, quote, "We believe Mr. Becker conducted himself appropriately at all times." First Republic Bank received a $30 billion lifeline from 11 of America's biggest lenders. Public filings showed the executive chairman of First Republic, Jim Herbert, sold more than $4 million in bank stock in January and February of this year. A spokesperson for Herbert telling ABC News the sales were part of estate planning and charitable donations. Amid turmoil in the regional banking sector, Bloomberg is reporting that billionaire investor Warren Buffett is in talks with officials from the Biden administration to offer cash lifelines to the struggling banks, something Buffett has done in the past. There are now growing calls for more bank regulations.
Roll back the ability of the Fed to weaken regulations and calling for these CEOs to be held accountable. And when you explode a bank, you ought to be banned from banking forever.
Swiss authorities already pumped more than $50 billion into Credit Suisse last week, yet wary investors have sent the stock down 30% in the past month. UBS announcing the takeover of the embattled bank Sunday. And now the Federal Reserve must weigh whether to raise interest rates again this week to try and cool inflation or take a pause in those rate hikes amid the market turmoil that has been fueled by recent bank failures.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Nice to see the sunshine out there after a couple of cloudy, windy, and cold days. And while today had a little bit of a chill to it, the sun definitely made a difference as we take a look around the state line from north, south, east to west. Plenty of sunshine. Starting to see a few higher level clouds kind of work in here late this afternoon and evening. And eventually that will turn our skies mostly cloudy as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. Temperature is a good 10 degrees above where we were yesterday. Still a little below that average, but at least we're on a warming trend. We're at 38 in Rockford, 37 in Freeport, 38 in Monroe. Wind chill numbers are down in the 20s, so there has been that chill, all thanks to that west and southwesterly wind. Had a little bit of a bite to it still here this afternoon. Those winds will continue as we go through this evening. We really won't see them die down too much through the night tonight. Temperatures warmer, though, than where they've been these last couple of nights. Will settle in the mid-20s. That'll help springboard us back into the upper 40s, right where we should be for this time of year. Cloud cover will increase on Monday, so unfortunately we won't see as much sunshine tomorrow as what we've had here for this afternoon. And there's a small chance we could see a shower or two pass later in the day. Tomorrow, of course, is the first day of spring. Spring officially begins at 4:24 tomorrow afternoon. And we've got a little more of a spring-like pattern coming up as temperatures continue to warm back into the 50s, but it could also lead to a little more of an active storm pattern. High pressure building to the west and south of us. That's why we've had kind of that breezy wind. There's actually a little disturbance. It's hard to pick out on our satellite and radar, but you see some of those clouds moving through South Dakota. That's kind of this little mini low pressure system that'll come through during the afternoon tomorrow. And that's where our cloud cover comes back to play, and we get a small chance for a shower after about 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow. We're still pretty dry though, so I don't think that's going to really amount to much, and Futurecast really keeps a lot of us dry. Winds will continue from the southwest as we go through the afternoon. We could see that shower or two kind of pick back up again Monday evening into Tuesday, but again, that stays light. We start Tuesday off on a drier note. Winds continue from the south, temperatures back into the 50s. But a boundary, this frontal boundary kind of setting up over the area through the rest of this week is going to be the focus for some of these showers that could develop. And it all has to do with the placement of our jet stream. That little disturbance that I showed you on satellite radar comes through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. After that, we get a pretty active jet stream. We're looking at the winds here in our jet stream, so in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And notice the position from southwest to northeast, pretty much right over the Midwest and the Great Lakes. So what that is going to do throughout this week is actually set up kind of this stationary boundary that just stays and wobbles a little bit from north to south. Along that boundary, you get these areas of low pressure that move along that. So depending on where exactly that sets up will determine not only what our temperatures are going throughout the week, but also where we've got rain opportunities. And I think we see that come in Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, then again late in the day on Wednesday. That boundary may fall a little further to the south of us once we get into the Thursday time frame, and then watching the weekend as well. So 48 degrees for tomorrow, 51 for Tuesday. We'll stay in the 50s here tailored through the week. Numbers will drop back. We still maintain closer to where we should be here for the end of March.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
The Ice Hogs redeemed themselves after Friday night's loss to split the weekend with the Eagles. And it's thanks to this guy. It's been great to see David Gust back on the ice with the Hogs, and last night was evidence of that. He carded the game winner to propel Rockford past Colorado in a 3-2 overtime win. And what a month it's been for the Orland Park native. An NHL contract, his first NHL goal, and the birth of his first child. But it's just all part of the job, and right now the focus remains on the playoffs.
You know, playoffs, we're not in the spot we want to be. You know, we don't have that much wiggle room to lose games here. So coming down the stretch, every point matters.
Yeah, he was huge. I mean, I think first shift he just buried a guy, clean hit. But, you know, that's the type of player he is. He's a competitor, and it's great. I thought he was really, really good today. You know,
Anders and the coaching staff wasn't too happy with our physicality last night and compete levels. So just tried to lead by example and kind of show that, you know, it doesn't matter who it is to lay some body and compete.
You heard Gusty talk about their playoff push there and how every win matters down the stretch. Last night moved the Hogs into 4th in the Central Division with 67 points. They are tied with the Iowa Wild. And let the madness continue. Pittsburgh and Xavier got the day started for us on this Sunday with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. First half action, Adam Kunkel finds Jack Nungy for the alley-oop. Musketeers up 10. Next trip down the floor ends with a Kunkel 3. Xavier rolling over the Panthers. Moments later, still in the first, Xavier in transition. Another feed inside to Nungy, who hammers it home. My goodness, Xavier was up 14 at the break. Into the second half, and in comes Soli Boom for a finish off the glass. Boom goes the dynamite. Xavier wins 84-73. They advance to the Sweet 16 to play Texas. Here's a look at more of today's action. Kansas State came out of nowhere this season, but they are on to the round of 16. What a game this one was. They downed Kentucky 75-69. Let's take a look at what's happening in the women's tournament. The defending champs are back in the Sweet 16. South Carolina handles South Florida 76-45. Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes are still dancing. They downed the Georgia Bulldogs 74-66. It's Women's History Month, and Olivia Pichardo made history. She became the first woman to play in a Division I baseball game this weekend. The freshman is a utility player for the Brown University Bears. She pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. After the game, Pichardo said she wants more girls to know it's possible for them to play baseball. Houston Astros star Jose Altuve has a broken right thumb and needs surgery. This news comes after Venezuela's 9-7 quarterfinal loss to the United States in the World Baseball Classic yesterday. The All-Star fell to the ground after he was struck by a 96-mile-an-hour sinker in the 5th inning. Astros manager Dusty Baker told reporters that it appears it could be a while before he returns. The Valspar Championship finished up today in Florida. Taylor Moore cards his first PGA Tour win at 10 under. Adam Schenk was tied for the lead until a bogey on the 18th. And for all of the Jordan Spieth fans out there, it's another day of sadness as he finishes tied for third at 8 under.
Our first WARN interactive radar on mystateline.com. Pretty quiet for us here as we go through the night tonight. We'll hold on to that clear sky. Temperatures will drop back into the mid-20s, an improvement from the teens we've started out here these last couple of mornings. We are going to add in a little more cloud cover though through the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures will gain about 10 degrees from where we were today. In the upper 40s for Monday afternoon. Small chance that we could see a shower late in the day. Those shower chances will continue throughout the week. Well, we've got some dry time. Pattern leads to a little more of an active scenario for us. Could see some showers that carry us through the end of the week.
Thanks, Candace, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 10.